Tate McRae has been putting in work to varying results, certainly not the most consistent pop career when it comes to output or quality. Her and her team seem to adapt a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks approach. For her first few releases, it seemed like she pulled from the Billie Eilish wheelhouse. Then after Sour and the success of songs like Good For You and the resurgence of pop punk, she went there. But it was only when she leaned into her dance roots and began making dance pop and dance R&B inspired songs that she would land upon a style that she could at least sell pretty well, and that seems to be the most comfortable for her. A song like Greedy, which very obviously references work by Nelly Furtado and Timbaland, became a career hit for Tate. A song that felt like a hit for the artist as well, not simply radio fodder. Then we have her song Exes, which sounds like a 2018 Ariana Grande Thank You Next leftover, but it kept her trend of centering more up-tempo work. Her second album, Think Later, was a true bait and switch. The singles had absolutely no indication of what the album as a whole would sound like, even remotely. It was mostly an album filled with nondescript and anonymous ballads with a soundscape that blends into beige wallpaper. Every artist, even if they mostly focus on up-tempos, will have at least a few ballads, but Tate's was overwhelming, and I think it showed an effective contrast on where her strengths seem to currently lie. Even though there is a clear strength for her in more dance pop and dance R&B songs than slow bare balladry, the problem is, even her best work has been middling, and not very distinguishable outside of her very breathy and nasally tone, and it's usually a 2000s tribute. But Tate is still young, and at the time of her second album, seemed to finally find her pocket as an artist. So by the time her third album came around, the expectation was raised a little more, that she would deliver something a little more solid, a little more interesting, and a bit stronger. And her third album, So Close to What, is certainly stronger than her past releases, and even an improvement, but hardly interesting and limited on standout moments. The lead single from this album is It's Okay, I'm Okay. It calls to mind various other artists from Cassie, Tinashe, to even Ashley Tisdale. It's an obvious tribute to 2000s pop, the verses to the song are fine and seem to build momentum, but the underwrought and uninteresting chorus loses all the momentum, as Tate continues to repeat It's Okay, I'm Okay during the chorus. The golden rule with closely follows repetition is that the production has to be good or interesting, which this song does not have. It sounds dated, undercooked, and at best like a filler album track. Her following single, Sports Car, did 2000's Prestige far better and far more tastefully, and I think it is one of her most interesting songs. It's a song coated in very obvious influence from 2000's icons, such as Britney Spears and the Pussycat Dolls. The melody is reminiscent of Buttons by the Pussycat Dolls, while the production calls upon thoughts of Danja and Timbaland. It's a sex jam about Tate exploring her options for sex. She uses her voice in interesting ways, having a whispered chorus. I think it just checks all the marks of a good and wide appealing song, while doing something interesting with the production. Her single Two Hands is also a nice song. It's more sentimental and has a big sweeping chorus. On Purple Lace Bra, Tate sounds like she's taken inspiration from Addison Rae's Diet Pepsi, which has a similar melody and even vocal style. Someone taking inspiration from Addison Rae is not a sentence I thought I would ever utter in my life, but the similarities are genuinely uncanny. Revolving Door is an easy listening atmospheric song with a light Jersey beat feel. Miss Possessive sounds like a song pulled straight from the early 2000s and 2010s. It reminds me of like Ariana Grande in 2016 doing a tribute to the 2000s. To be completely honest, the songwriting is not at all interesting either. The introspection is pretty one note and surface level. There's not many lyrics to really reveal Tate as an artist or personality. There are better hooks than her previous records, but the results for the most part are just middling and homogenous. I think Tate could have definitely benefited from upping her production value a little more. On a lot of the songs, the production just sounds dated and sometimes even downright tacky. We are living in a current pop renaissance where we are being showed that you can tribute another era and still have it sound modern and interesting. The third album tends to be a very interesting turning point for pop women, traditionally. Janet Jackson had Control, Britney had Britney, Christina had Stripped, discounting her Christmas album, Nelly Furtado had Loose, and Rihanna had Good Girl Gone Bad. After Tate found her footing with her musical direction, I was expecting her to hit the ground running. Instead, the album feels like a slightly improved version of Think Later. Tate gets closer, but not by much.